This girl came in, did one exercise, and then spent about 20 minutes taking photos for social media.
Actually, I eat everything.
The first myth is that to lose weight, you need to run on the treadmill.
They often complain, try to suck up, look for compromises.
What did you do before becoming a personal trainer?
Before starting this career, I worked as a bouncer at a nightclub. I started out on face control. My first night on the job was a crowd of 1,200 students. After working for about 2 or 3 years, I became the head of security and eventually managed to become the nightclub's director.
I played in an orchestra at the Philharmonic, then another orchestra. I was born in '84. When I was growing up, action movies with Schwarzenegger, with Stallone were popular. I had their posters on my walls. Naturally, when I was around 13 or 14, I went to the gym and worked out, despite working in a completely different field. Before this, I worked at a factory that produced polyethylene. As a process engineer, I was the shift supervisor, responsible for cooling the process water in production. And I had to take on many part-time jobs. I even worked part-time painting, smearing, basically anything. This was even during my school years. Later, I worked as an administrator in a gaming club. Well, I juggled jobs in general.
What is your opinion on people who take photos in the gym?
I've seen it happen. This girl came in, did one exercise, and then spent about 20 minutes taking photos for social media. I don't understand the point of her workout.
I always find it funny, the way someone comes in, hasn't even started working out yet, but first thing, they take a photo, make a report that they've been to the gym. But there are a lot of such people, so I don't think it's worth paying attention to. Everyone does what they think is necessary to take a nice photo, to check in.
I'm fine with it. A girl came in, paid for 3 sessions, and when I started showing her the exercises, she says, "Show me how to do the exercises, I'll perform them, and you take videos for Instagram." So I spent 3 sessions filming her. The most important thing is that they don't compromise safety, because when they do some exotic exercises with machines, it's terrifying to watch. Just for a photo, I equate it to climbing onto a roof, standing on one leg, and taking those extreme photos.
What myths exist about fitness?
If I'm working out, I have to eat buckwheat porridge and chicken breast. Why? Honestly, I don't understand why. In fact, you can eat all kinds of cereals. And any meat, just try to eat lean. The cooking method is more important. And actually, I eat everything.
Of course, a huge misconception again is that people believe if they work on their abs, they will get a flat, beautiful stomach. Another fallacy is the belief that suffering is necessary. Everyone thinks they need to spend a lot of money on sports nutrition now. They believe that going to the gym more often allows them to eat whatever they were eating before. That's also a myth. In reality, about 80% of our success comes from our diet. Well, okay, not 80, let's say 60%. And working out 3 times a week, for an hour. People really think that's the decisive factor. No. By the way, there's another misconception among women. Before going to the gym, they think they need to lose weight and get in shape first, and then they'll join the gym. Just like my client's friend. She says her friends want to come to me. I say, let them come. But she showed them my Instagram. They said, no, we will go to this trainer a bit later. We'll get in shape first.
When a short girl weighs 90 to 120 kilograms, to me, that's not just an aesthetic issue, it's a health problem. Unfortunately, when such a client comes, they're afraid to exercise, afraid of others' opinions. But somehow, they're okay with their current state. As far as I know, no instructor, including myself, would ever think to judge them for being overweight or unattractive. My first thought is always, what about her blood pressure? What's happening with her sleep? How does she feel? Can she climb 5 flights of stairs, or is that difficult for her? So, in this situation, I'm not concerned about her outward appearance. Her internal state is what's important to me.
For me, the first myth is that to lose weight, you need to run on the treadmill. I often see people come to the gym and immediately get on the treadmill, then move to the bike, spend about 30 minutes there, then switch to the elliptical, and spend another 30 minutes there. It's a myth that the more you move, the faster you'll lose weight.
What's the most impressive client transformation you remember?
When a girl lost so much weight in 6 weeks that I didn't even recognize her in the photos. There was this situation. Besides losing weight, she was doing massages, working out, eating right, and I periodically took photos of how she looked. but I didn't make a collage. Then I thought, well, it's probably been 5 or 6 weeks. She sends this photo to her husband, and he asks, "Where are your results?" "What do you mean, my results? That's my photo." "Really?" Then he looks again, says, "Oh yes, sneakers, shirt, indeed, those are your results." I train athletes, and many of them have become trainers. So, I think it's awesome when someone changes their profession. For example, I have a girl who was a chef and became an athlete, a trainer, a master of sports.
There was a girl. She had quite serious goals. I think she even fell in love with someone. This helped her to follow the instructions completely. We lost 55 kilograms. Initially, the weight was even more. I don't remember exactly. Initially, she lifted 30 kilograms. In the end, we got down to 80. Well, 80, 78, something like that.
Do your relatives ask you for advice?
My mom tried to ask me about nutrition a few times. I laid it all out for her, expecting her to follow through. Then, I see her standing by the window, turned away from me. Something felt off. I approached her, and there she was, eating cookies with milk. I'm like, "Mom, you're on a diet." She says, "The milk tasted so bad, I decided to chase it with the cookies."
My relatives won't listen to me the way my clients do, and I can't make them. It's like with my kids. They pay attention to a teacher during lessons, but with me, they'd be inattentive. They'd get distracted, ask for cartoons, candy, water. The same goes for relatives. I might tell them something, but they're like, relax. Over the last 3 years, even my own sister has come to me for advice. What to eat, how to train properly without harm. Plus, my mom has also gotten on board, constantly asking me what she should eat in the evening. But I never impose. If someone wants help, I'm there. My wife didn't listen to me at first. There was even a time when she went to another girl for fitness training. After some sessions, she comes home and says she decided she needs a nutrition plan. I thought she'd ask me to make one. Then she says she needs money because the girl said she'd make one for her. I told her, "Say that again, and you're living on the balcony." I'm like, I make nutrition plans for people. You see their results. You see how I prepare for competitions, how I train, what I eat. And you're telling me some girl, not saying she's not a professional, should make it for you? She got mad, but eventually came to me, ready to have me make her a nutrition plan.
Do clients often complain about the workout being too hard?
When they're asked if the workout is okay, they say, "Oh, it's hard." I used to not understand whether it was genuinely hard for women or not, because they always look so serious when exercising. But I noticed if a woman smiles, it means the weight is already too much. I was training this one girl doing seated dumbbell curls. I ask, "Is it too heavy?" She says, "Very." I suggest adding weight, maybe 2 or 3 kilograms. She's like, No, it's very hard." I say, "Okay, rest." What does she do? Sits with the dumbbells, rests, and starts fixing her hair with a dumbbell in her hand, chatting away. I'm like, "Sure it's heavy?" "Oh, very." Guys, it's hard to tell with them because they always grunt. Even if they lift 5 kilograms, they're groaning, throwing the dumbbells. And they don't just drop them, they throw them with force onto the floor.
I have clients I brace myself for because I know the whining is coming. But honestly, I love them all. I just know this person whines. Some whine and work. Some really whine through the whole session, but they do it. I just tune out, like I'm wearing headphones, and hear nothing. We just work. They often complain, try to suck up, look for compromises. I tell the girls, let's cut it out. I try to adjust the workload and can be accommodating to requests if I truly know that someone is new or can't handle a certain load. But if someone starts asking for less, I say, all right, then we'll do 3 rounds. But instead of 3, we'll do 4 rounds with you. And then everything will be absolutely fantastic. Naturally, everyone agrees to go back to the original plan.
Why are trainer services so expensive?
I can explain why my services cost that much. There came a time when I literally had no time to rest. Demand creates supply. The demand was so high that I worked from 5 in the morning till midnight. I realized I needed to raise my prices. There are many trainers who charge less. Maybe they're not as in demand. You can always find a trainer that fits your needs. In reality, I wouldn't say my services are expensive. Each instructor sets their own rates, so you can find both budget-friendly and high-end options. However, the price doesn't always reflect the quality of service. An instructor might charge a lot, but not necessarily deliver the quality that justifies the cost.
What should a good trainer be like?
How do you tell if a trainer is good or bad? When you come to the gym, if the trainer doesn't ask about any injuries, illnesses, or contraindications, it's a red flag. They can't create a workout plan without knowing anything about the person. What did you eat today? Did you have breakfast at all? It's crucial. If someone comes in the morning without having breakfast, there's a high chance they could faint. A trainer must always be by the client's side, never leaving. What are they paid for? To conduct personal training or a split session. They need to be there not just for company, but to monitor exercise technique and provide support with heavy weights. Another key indicator is when a trainer keeps track of the client's weights, sets, and reps. It's wrong when they ask, "Do you remember how much you lifted?" The client paying for a personal session should only focus on performing the exercises. The most important thing is experience. It's very relevant today because there are so many inexperienced trainers. They've done courses but haven't trained for long themselves. A trainer should have teaching skills, the ability to explain. Many trainers know how to perform exercises well themselves, being great athletes, but they can't explain to someone else how to do it, what to feel, what to focus on. It's sometimes alarming to see a good athlete with a client doing something entirely wrong, and the trainer doesn't react. Professionalism encompasses everything. Not being on your phone while the client is training, which happens all too often. Not being lazy, meaning coming up with new exercises, constantly developing. In my opinion, a trainer must be able to explain to their client why they're doing what they're doing. They shouldn't just follow a template because it worked for someone else half a year ago. The person should understand and be aware of why they're doing it.
The coolest quality of a personal trainer is realizing in time that it's not your zone, knowing when to stop and refer the client to another specialist. If someone comes in with anorexia, that's not the job of a trainer anymore. That's for a psychologist.